What's up, you guys? It's Oscar here. So there is something that we need to talk about.
I think today we're not super worried. The fact is, if you look at the data in the U.S., it's been relatively strong. But listen, it's very late cycle. This is the longest cycle in history, and this rise in protectionism is a slippery slope. So I would say we really need to be worrying about it in 2020, but certainly not in 2019.
So I'm just wondering what you see that with low interest rates and full employment and innovation and all these good things, why are we headed for a recession? Obviously, it's been a long expansion, but is there anything inherently wrong with the U.S. economy right now that, notwithstanding that the sugar high wears off, but just the basic economy seems to be pretty good. The consumer seems to be good, unless we import a slowdown from the rest of the world.
Let's count the ways, Joe. If you're looking for a strong economy, yes, consumer spending was strong. But last week we learned that the consumer sentiment index from the University of Michigan had several weak points. That is one. Second, the labor market is said to be tight, but you haven't had the labor force participation rate go back to the pre-Great Recession highs. We still have low labor force participation rate, which means we are leaving a good part of the labor force behind without giving them jobs. Third, in July, the number of people who are holding multiple jobs was 8.3 million, which is an all-time record for the United States. You're holding multiple jobs because no job gives you enough of an income for you to just keep one job. The labor market is not tight. It actually has lots of weaknesses. And the other one, just to finish this off, Joe, there was a great story in the Wall Street Journal yesterday which talked about how the real disposable household income in the United States today is at 1999 level. Go figure. And that doesn't say to me that it has been a strong economy.
With China saying, okay, United States, we're going to retaliate. Here's some tariffs we're throwing down. Then Trump announces, okay, I'll see those tariffs now raised some more. For the economy in this country, what are the implications of this going to be?
Steve, I'll be blunt. I think the implications are recession in 2020. We have 9 major countries around the world that are in or near recession. As was pointed out, Germany had a contraction in the last quarter. They may have another one going forward. They sell a lot to China. China's economy is weakening. Japan's not that strong. France and Italy have their own problems. The UK may crash out of the European Union in October in a so-called no-deal Brexit that Boris Johnson will preside over. So there are a lot of spots around the world that are weakening. This does nothing to help, and in fact, it very likely makes
Now, I don't know about you, but those videos sort of brought this concern over me, this awareness over me of how our economy is, how it's doing, and how it's going to be in the future, right? As you saw, a lot of experts in economics say and predict that next year, 2020, will be the year that the United States and our economy will go through a recession. Now, it's been over a decade since we have gone through a recession. The last one we had was in 2008. Now, most of us were probably kids or babies, and we had no idea what the heck was going on, but our parents and our grandparents did suffer through it. Now, unfortunately, now that we are older and adults and live our own and have our careers, we are now going to go through a recession in the future, and we are going to be affected by it. Now, it's not something that it's for sure, it's not guaranteed, but based on how our economy is doing now, right? If you notice the stock market, if you notice our GDP, it is growing substantially. It is just increasing every single day. We're doing really, really good, right? But what happens when you climb up in the mountain and you reach the top? What is on the other side of the mountain? And it's essentially you going down. When you reach to the point, the peak of the graph, the peak of the mountain, there's a steady space, a steady time, and then after that, it just goes back down really fast. And so essentially, that is where we're headed. Because of our economy and how President Donald Trump is doing with the businesses, and increasing businesses are booming, unemployment rate is low, the economy is growing in numbers, and it's great. But unfortunately, because of that, it is now leading us to a recession much faster. But this video is not about what the recession can do or what it is, but rather how can we prepare for the recession. Before we can understand how to prepare for a recession. What is a recession? Well, a recession is when economy periodically, for momentarily, declines for 2 consecutive quarters or 6 months. When the economy is declining month after month for 6 months or 2 quarters, businesses are losing, consumers are not buying, people are losing jobs, therefore losing income, therefore losing their homes, their cars, etc. And we have a decrease and decline in consumer spending, and therefore businesses cannot make or create products and services to sell to people because they're not buying. So when that happens, it affects the whole entire economy. Our taxes are high, interest rates are high, everything just goes up because of the economy and how it's going into a recession. But how can you and I prepare for a recession? I personally trust and believe in God, and I have faith that He'll protect us and provide for us. But we as citizens and as human beings, we have to do our part and be responsible and be wise, because God won't do everything. I promise you that. He will make sure that you are taken care of, but you have to do your part and you have to be responsible. So here are 3 things that experts and billionaires and millionaires say that we have to do to be prepared for recession. So the first thing is we need to have 3 to 6 months worth of savings for our expenses. The way you do this is, the first thing you want to do is you want to add up all of your expenses, all of your costs every single month that you spend on. This includes your retirement for your Roth IRA, your 401k, your bills such as your electric bill, your water, your gas, all of the food that you spend. Obviously, we need food to survive, food and water. So how much money do you spend on groceries and food to consume? And the third thing is your mortgage and your rent, right? If you live in an apartment, if you live with you're renting a house, or you're renting an apartment, or you are paying down a mortgage, we need to have money for this stuff. And most importantly, having 3 to 6 months is key, because again, a recession only lasts about roughly 6 months. Now it can last up to a year, but essentially that hasn't happened in a while, so it can be like around 6 months, which is 2 quarters. So as long as you have 3 to 6 months worth of all of your expenses and all your bills added up in a savings account, you will be okay. The second thing you want to do within that, having a 3 to 6 month savings, is you want to make sure that you save your money not in a regular bank account, but in an investment savings account. Now, why is that? An investment savings account has the highest APY, or annual percentage yearly rate, on your money that you have, and it grows over time. If you save your money on your regular checking or your regular savings account at Chase or Bank of America or Capital One, they're not going to give you anything. They're going to give you 0.001%, which is like a penny in a month. Like some of you probably seen, like, oh, I got a penny for having thousands of dollars in my savings account. That's not what you want to do. You want to have your money saved in an investment savings account. That way it's growing over time within those 6 months that you have that money saved up. But again, this money should be saved up for emergencies and your bills and your expenses only. Do not touch it. Do not even withdraw out of it, as long as you have it there. Every time you get paid with your job or with the sort of career that you have, you want to put 40 to 50% starting now in that savings account, so that it can add up to your 3 to 6 months of savings that you need to pretty much survive, right? That way, pay down something, or God forbid, but you lose your job, like the only source of income that you have, you need to be able to have that sort of money saved up for your expenses. The second thing is you want to do is you want to pay down, and you want to get rid of all high and unnecessary debt that you have, whether it's credit cards or unnecessary loans. Pay down as much as possible, or get rid of everything completely. You don't want to be in debt in a recession, because that is terrible. I mean, imagine being in debt and there's a recession, you don't have a job. I mean, it's just horrible. It's a horrible time of crisis, financial crisis. You do not want to go through. You want to follow these steps in order for you to prepare yourself financially for a recession to come. And God forbid it doesn't, but if in case it does, we are prepared for it. The last thing you want to do is have 2 sources of income. Now, it doesn't mean necessarily 2 jobs, but in other words, it means 2 sources of income, 2 sources of money flowing through, cash flow into your account, into you. How do you do this? Well, experts say that you need to find a skill. Right? There's so many ways you can make money online. It's crazy how our economy builds up with the e-commerce and online shopping and just online spending. But there's so many other ways that you and I can make money online just by doing simple things. Find a skill such as animation, graphic design, making videos. If you're a freelancer for makeup or for creating or for art, whatever it is, you can build that skill, find that skill. Second thing is build that skill, practice that skill, perfect that skill. Find your customers, right? Find those dedicated customers that need those expertise and make money out of them. Find 2 skills, dedicate some time to perfect one skill, and then dedicate another time to perfect another skill. You can invest your time and have another source of income. Find different ways, perfect the skill, invest your time. It's important for you, and trust me, it will be very, very good for you in the time of the recession. You don't have to worry as much as other people who won't be doing this. So just to summarize, have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, pay down and get rid of any unnecessary debt, and have at least 2 sources of income coming in. That's it. Do these 3 things, and I promise you, we will be safe. We'll be okay. And on top of that, by having faith in God and trusting in God, that's another candy cherry at the top of the sundae. It is gonna be okay. Don't worry. Just follow these 3 things. Set your mindset to lower your expenses, to lower your unnecessary purchases. That's something that I've been doing since the beginning of the year. Just lower your debt. If you have credit card debt, if you have loans that are unnecessary, get rid of them, pay them down as much as you can before this thing hits. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, if it's some good information for you, for your financial success. The second thing is I'd like for you to comment down. Let me know what you think. If there's another thing that we should do to get ready for a recession, let us know in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys and what you guys think. Share this video for any friends or family that need to hear this because they might suck at finances or just not know what to do or how to handle their money. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel. That way you guys never miss any of these type of videos that I'll be introducing in the future, guys. God bless. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.